Waymo has some pretty exciting cars. Cruise has some real, real exciting cars, depending how you slice it. Zoox, a bunch of companies in China. These things are taking off. But there's a little company out of Austin, Texas, I want to say, called Tesla. Perhaps you've heard of them. They've got a dedicated Robotaxi platform that they plan to build. And I'm deeply skeptical, of course, which is why I have brought Randy here to help me, a small business owner operator, decide if I should go with somebody I trust, like Google, uh, or some little upstart. Who knows? I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So that's the premise we're going with, Randy. Best-selling author Randy Kirk. Randy Kirk, who has consulted hundreds of businesses over the years. Maybe I don't like Elon, maybe I don't believe Tesla, whatever my reason is, I really want to get into this business with somebody else's product. Now, we're going to make a couple assumptions going into this. One is that Waymo works, which is a big assumption, but we have evidence that it does. And with that, we'll have to assume that Robotaxi works, which today it doesn't in a commercial sense.
Right.
And the biggest leap of all we're going to have to make is the assumption that I would be able to purchase a Waymo. But let's say I could. Let's say I'm the business that can do that. Why should I buy Cybercab instead of a rival product from another company?
Well, one of the things that you just mentioned a minute ago, you said, well, you don't like Elon or you don't blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, terrible dude.
Might be a reason for going a different direction. But on the flip side of that is that the brand name Tesla is one of the most recognized and appreciated brands in the world. And moreover, there are millions and millions and millions of people around the world that are using the Tesla product, who love their Tesla product. I believe the level of people that would rebuy a Tesla that just came out last week on Consumer Reports was on the order of 78% or something. And something on that order would, their next purchase, if they own a Tesla now, their next purchase would still be a Tesla. So when you've already got that kind of brand recognition and you want to put out a new product, it doesn't hurt to have the top brand. Now, Google is a huge brand, but Waymo doesn't say Google. It says Waymo.
Yeah.
So they're not building off of that brand. They've created a brand new brand. So that would be one reason. That'd be a pretty good reason.
Well, let's talk about cost, because Waymo is partnering with Hyundai. Hyundai will build the car, and then before it leaves the factory, apparently move it to somewhere else in the factory and outfit it with all the very subtle, almost undetectable sensors. I struggle to find them in the pictures, everywhere in your face. But when they do that, shouldn't that, that's going to be a good car. I'm going to get 150,000 miles out of it.
Yeah. So we don't know how many miles you'll get out of it, but that is kind of, I guess, I don't know.
For a Hyundai, I think I will get 100 to 150,000 miles.
A battery a BEV Hyundai is only going to be about that level?
Well, any Hyundai.
Oh, any Hyundai. Okay. All right. So
especially one used as a public transit, especially if there's no human there to make sure you're on best behavior, it's going to get some wear and tear.
Okay. So let's assume that, roughly speaking, maybe they would get the same amount of mileage as the Tesla vehicle, but maybe not. Maybe the way that the Tesla vehicle is built and designed is around getting maximum numbers of miles out of it. But I think you can be pretty confident that your expenditure when you purchase it is going to be a lot less for the Tesla vehicle. Now, that could be incorrect, because we don't know the details yet of what Tesla's going to charge for a Cybercab. We have no idea what Waymo would charge if they were going to sell them, but we do know that Waymo probably is paying, even if the LiDARs get down to $500 a piece instead of whatever they are now, which I've read recently. Apparently, they think they'll get it down to $500 a piece. You'd still be talking about maybe at least a $40,000 or $50,000 vehicle, whereas Tesla could sell their vehicle to you for $50,000 or $60,000 and make a massive profit on the software, where Waymo would be barely making money.
What I would argue is the Hyundai is going to get you 100, 150,000 miles. But I would argue the Cybercab is going to get you quite a bit more than that because it's purpose built for this. It is designed for this. It's got all of the things designed for just one purpose. Some weight savings I didn't mention is that the fact that it doesn't need to have performance style suspension. You don't need big anti-sway if you're never going to take a corner fast enough to spill your coffee, except in, an evasive maneuver, which should be rare.
Yeah, there's no question that the Cybercab is going to be designed around the idea that it has very few moving parts, very few things to go wrong, whereas at least what we know today of even the BEVs from Hyundai is they're not nearly as, not even close to being as first principles built for the job. And so there would be some definite advantages in that department.
Absolutely. Definitely not purpose built around public transit in that way. There are,
I'm sorry. Yeah,
the Hyundais. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I would say, riffing off of that idea is that the other part that we know about the cab so far is that it's going to be designed to be easy for the owner to maintain. And when I say,
so why does that matter to me as a fleet owner?
Well, as a fleet owner, that's who's going to be in charge of maintaining it. It's going to be the fleet owner. So you're going to have some way to clean it, some way to recharge it, some way to wash it, as opposed to cleaning the interior. You're going to have to do that too. You're going to have to maintain other aspects of it as time goes by. So all of those things, you want to have the least amount of. If you're an owner, you want the least amount of maintenance that you possibly could have. And again, the cab is built for that, designed around it. We'll have inductive charging, which should dramatically help in terms of making it easy to get the thing charged. Almost self-cleaning. Maybe you'll have to take it to a specific place to get this self-cleaning done. But my guess is that everywhere there is now charging, they're going to have this self-cleaning set up. So I'm guessing that, in fact, my guess would be that Tesla will be creating an ecosystem for their own fleet that will then also be able to be used by other people who own Tesla cabs to get these things done.
So in terms of maintenance, because we're comparing EVs to EVs, you're telling me that the Cybercab will be cheaper because there's less to clean and it is designed from the ground up with cleaning in mind.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And cleaning, let's be honest, is an everyday thing.
Right.
At least it should be. I mean, if you're not cleaning your cab every day, my friend, please do. There's only 3 pieces of glass in this car, just the windshield and the 2 side windows, as opposed to most cars, which have 9, 8, maybe as few as 6 to 8. But that is a big time saver there.
Well, then
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When my Waymo dies, who fixes it? If it's under warranty, who do I take it to? Are all the Kia shops going to know how to fix this?
Not clear, but I would hope that they would be clever enough to figure that out. I was going to go on to consumer experience, though.
Let's do it.
So consumer experience, I mean, you get into an existing Tesla model of any kind. It has by far the best entertainment system that you can possibly imagine. Nobody comes close. I mean, I've claimed for years that the entertainment system alone is a reason to buy Tesla versus other BEVs. But then, the car is purpose built. It has a very, very large trunk so that you can put multiple golf clubs in. You can put 2 full-size pieces of luggage plus additional side pieces of luggage in that trunk. You can put large objects if you're moving something around. You're moving a dresser from here to there or some of your tools. Very large trunk for that purpose, and a very comfortable cockpit designed for to just hang out, to almost like what would you call it, a lounge on wheels. And not to say Hyundais aren't comfortable in the front, but the front seats of the Hyundai would be like a normal car. They're designed to optimize the difference between what you can do with headroom and leg room at the same time that you've got other kinds of considerations.
I was talking with an engineer who we asked, how much does the seat recline? And he said, not much, a little bit. If you put the seat forward and recline it, he said, I almost fell asleep. It's like, wow, that's pretty good. That's leaning back enough. Let me share with you some things about the cargo space that haven't been discussed much. Collapsible wheelchair will fit,
Okay.
is what the engineers told us. Some folding bicycles may fit. I don't think you'd get a full one in there. And then the question is, well, why is it a straight space, like a little like rectangle? Why don't we have more of the cubbies and stuff? And the answer to that is, adding those shapes costs money and creates points of failure from cargo. So if you've got weird shapes and you're trying to move a bunch of stuff, you're going to want to fill them. And then when you take it out, you're going to damage it. So having a straight space will make loading and unloading quicker, and it'll streamline it even into your brain, which is all about process control. And as much as they hate buttons, there are 5 buttons on the car: the window switches, so 2 window switches, door switches, and the back, the trunk. And I thought, why would you have a power lift gate for that? And the answer is because it's so lightweight, I'd really prefer you just don't touch it. Not that it's going to break, but repeated slamming from mass transit is going to break it eventually. So we've got the actuators. We'll deal with that part of it. Don't you touch it. And so, yeah, they have absolutely thought of everything. So Randy, I'm still gonna buy my Waymo. But what you're telling me is, instead of spending 25, 30,000, I'm going to spend 100,000.
Maybe.
Maybe. And it's only going to go 150,000 miles as opposed to 2, 3, 4, 500,000.
Yeah,
Because
there's so many other things though that we're not putting into the equation. You're like, for instance, where are you going to set up your business? Well, if you're going to set it up within a very small geofenced area in some city, you're probably okay. But then there might be 27,000 other people in that same territory. How about a
we're
car
going with
thief?
the assumption that they both work, that they
They could
both
work
just
anywhere.
work.
Anywhere.
Right. But we're also saying that the Robocab works, which today
Yeah.
it doesn't. We have to make some assumptions, and we have to give them an even playing field, because it's still not level. It's still not level because I'm going to spend 3 times, 4 times, 10 times as much to buy a Waymo, and it's only going to go 150,000 miles. I have to charge $2-3 a mile just to recoup my purchase cost.
Right.
Because if it's 150 grand and the car lasts 150,000 miles, that's the
That's a
first.
Powerball. Yeah.
No, that's more, because that only counts paid miles. That doesn't count the deadheading when I'm
Oh,
going to
yes.
pick up someone. It doesn't count any distance for maintenance and charging. And like you said, the Robotaxi can self-charge. If there's a pad on the ground in existence, it will park over it and juice. And if you have a Waymo, it will go somewhere and request a charge. Hey, could somebody help me? Could somebody plug me in? It's sad. It's a tin man needs an oil can's what's going on there. So I don't know. It, as a business idea, it it's always going to be cheaper to purpose build something than to build it for a different purpose and then change the purpose. You're going to have police cruisers notoriously had problems with leaking, where they would attach aftermarket lights and whatnot, because the car wasn't meant for that, even though it should have been. They knew they were going to be selling these to police departments. You would think they would have thought that through, but they didn't. Why would they?
Well, then there's the cool factor. We haven't talked about the cool factor. I mean, the Cybercab is very cool looking, and there's
Yeah.
nothing cool looking about a Waymo.
Might as well paint them school bus yellow, because that's the only way they're getting less cool. It is neat to see them roll by on the street unoccupied, but it doesn't matter. Oh, another question that had come up before. I'll just share this here because people are watching, Randy. I don't know if you know that. I certainly don't know why, but they are. The question was, and I asked the engineer this, will it have a windshield wiper? Or are you just going to Rain-X the heck out of it? Or are you going to give it a little widow's peak to just clear the camera? And he looked at me funny and he said, it has a windshield wiper. And I go, oh yeah, how about that? It does. Okay. I didn't see it. I didn't see it in the videos. It was dark. So yes, they have windshield wipers already.
Even though the driver, the person who's riding along, could care less about seeing the just because people might be annoyed that they can't.
Definitely people could be annoyed not being able to see, but I think more than that, it's that you could put one just over the camera, but
Yeah,
then you've got worse aero than if it's hiding under the lip of the hood. So,
yeah,
and yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
So I would also argue that there would be a package from Tesla for the purchaser that would be complete, because because the vehicle is being created to be something that is sold to a fleet manager.
So you
So
talked about this on your channel yesterday.
yeah,
I was on and you were explaining this and I loved it. It's a turnkey franchise.
right.
I don't have to go out and build my own network, explain to customers what I do. I just have to buy a franchise. The advertising is being done for me, the development is being done for me. All I have to do is get in.
Yes.
Explain to me, explain it.
Well, yeah. So one of the biggest things in the taxi world, even in the Waymo world, is all about dispatch. And then dispatch is as you have dispatch, but you also have the wait time for the consumer. So if you have too much of a wait time, then you're going to click on another app. If your dispatch is not working well, then you're going to have cars sitting around that are not earning money. So with Tesla having this amazing AI, and with the massive number of vehicles that are going to be out there once this starts, then the combination of those two should provide Tesla with a meaningful difference with regard to dispatch, in addition to all the other benefits that we've just talked about. But then that's all packaged together so that when you, as a potential owner, are ready to make your purchase, you can go, okay, here's the average amount of money can make per mile. Here is what it's going to cost me to clean it. Here's what it's going to cost me for electricity. All of that stuff is already worked out for you, and you can say, okay, my return on investment is going to be this. Here's how much cash I have to put down. Here's how much I can expect per month. It should be very turnkey.
And the network will be large enough that you can just go ask other owners.
Right.
If you're Waymo, what's a good way to get the word out? Surely people who live in the Bay Area know the word is out. It's not like they would advertise in fortune cookies.
Yes. Well, Waymo has. Well, I
That
can't.
is that is
That's a Waymo advertising.
fortune cookie.
Fortune cookie.
Come on, man. Focus
Yeah.
up. Here we
Yeah,
go.
yeah, I forgot
I'll
about
just
it.
I'll just put it on the screen. Yeah, Waymo advertising in fortune cookies. And they didn't even be clever about it. Mine's just like the future is near, and they're like, oh, you will go for a ride. It's like, oh God, yeah. Ugh. So yeah, I think that this will have its own network. It will be ubiquitous. They are eye catching. They will be everywhere. It is, and it will be a turnkey business. And early on, we talked about this on your show as well. We said, so 25 grand, huh? And he goes, I go, yeah, that makes sense. It would make sense to start high. Even if Tesla's cost is 50 grand, is 25 grand, and they're selling them for 50, that means for every one they sell, they can keep one.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, baby, this is getting exciting.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
but you know what? I don't have a vision for the future or the present or the past. So I'm still going to buy the Waymo. Thank you for consulting with me today, Randy. It has been an absolute joy for at least one of us. I assume you, and everybody else, like, subscribe, do what you do. And remember, on Wednesday at noon 30, there's going to be an Ask Brian Anything About the Cybercab live on X and YouTube. And head over to Randy's channel, see what he's up to. If you still can't get enough Cybercab stuff, we talked about that yesterday on his show, and he managed to get fresh insights out of me that I hadn't yet published. So good work, Kirk, Randy, and everybody else. Stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you, clever robots, perhaps on Wednesday, noon 30 Pacific, for the Ask Me Anything.